everyone. This is The Jeff Cowan coming to you from thejeffcowan.com with my podcast called Success in Professional Sales and Life in General. Welcome back. You know, this podcast is really growing by leaps and bounds every week. And I'm so excited about that because I've got some great messages coming up for you, and I got a great message today. But before I get started, I want to thank all of you for having my mom in your thoughts and prayers. This is a picture of my mom and myself right there. As I told you several weeks ago, she had a heart attack. We lost her twice, but we've been told she's going to make a full recovery, and she's doing fine. And I know it's because people like you that are listening had her in your thoughts and prayers. And from the Cowan family and myself personally, thank you very much. But let's get into today's podcast. You know, this is truly one of those ones that's just not going to help your professional selling career. This is a message that's going to help you in life in general. Now, I like to call this podcast "Thou Shalt Not Steal." You know, one of the things when you're working with people and you're trying to get them to invest in your products, one of the things you're doing throughout life is you're trying to involve yourself in the community and make friends and all that stuff, is people take a look at your character. And there's a lot of different things they look at in your character, but one that stands out above them all is, are you honest? And so today, as I'm giving you this message, it may sound like I'm talking to a business owner, it may sound like I'm talking to a leader or a manager, but I'm really talking to everybody listening to this, especially salespeople, because salespeople sometimes say some really dumb things, and I just don't want you to be one of those people, because you're judged, you know, when you're making a presentation, especially when you're working with somebody that you don't know, and really even when you know somebody, they're checking you out. I mean, they're trying to see what kind of person you are. What do you like? Are you somebody that has confidence? Are you somebody that can get it done? Are you somebody that's honest? You know, and here's what I mean. You know, you don't have to rob a bank to be a thief. You know, stealing sometimes even the smallest thing can make you a thief. And what got me to talk about this is this. You know, the other night I was sitting around and I was listening to some friends, and this happens all the time, and one of them was talking about they have the new Amazon Fire Stick. If you got the new Amazon Fire Stick, there's something you can do. You can go on the inside of it and you can click a button or do a couple of different things, and then you get all of their library for free. Okay? Well, free from, what do you mean free? You're stealing it from somebody. The other day I was doing a workshop, and a salesperson raised his hand and he said, yeah, do you know if you go to Apple and you do this, that, and the other, you can get Apple TV for free and get access to their entire library. Well, what do you mean you're getting it for free? Somebody's paying for it. You're not getting it for free. You're stealing it. If you're not paying a subscription price when you're supposed to be paying it, you're stealing it. Okay? And what's crazy about this is some of the people who are making these comments are people that are pretty well off, but it was very telling about their character. I mean, when does it become theft? You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes I guess that's really just the main question there. When does it become theft? And I want you to know, in your customers' eyes, in your employees' eyes, your kids' eyes, your family's eyes, you know, sometimes the smallest things, they see it as theft. So let me give you some examples. You know, a very good friend of mine is a high-ranking manager at a business, and he's over a couple hundred people, all right? And he's a great manager, great person. I've known this guy for a very, very long time, but he made one grave error, I believe, and really, boy, did it come back to get him in the wrong way. What he did is an employee came in one time and said, hey, look, I've got a way to get movies before they go to Redbox or before they go to DVD, before they're on Apple or Amazon. I've got a way to get copies of them, and here you are. If you want to see the latest movie, here you go. This one was just released last Friday, but here you go. And the friend took the copy of the movie, okay, and watched it. And not only did he watch it, he continued, him and then even the business owner, continued to get these free movies, right, these free movies. Well, the problem I had with it, and I tried to tell him, don't take those movies, man. You don't watch those movies. You're sending the wrong message. You're sending the message that it's okay to steal. Well, you know what? No, I'm wrong. It's not. It's just movies, you know, just like these other people saying it's just the Fire Stick. It's just Apple, right? But it came back to bite him big time, because 3 years later, this friend of mine runs this business. It's a franchise business, right? Well, the franchise holder came in, or not the franchise holder, but the people that he bought the franchise from came in and did a regular audit. When they did, they found out there were thousands of dollars of inventory missing. Thousands of dollars in inventory missing. So my friend and the business owner, they took these people to court, wanted to sue them, wanted their money back, wanted to even put them in jail. But guess what happened? Okay, once they were trying to sue them, the lawyer representing these people found out that they had taken these free movies. I kid you not, taken these free movies. And so what they did is they countersued, saying that it was established in this business that doing these types of things was okay, right? So not only did they not get their money back, not only did nobody go to jail, but the business owner and the manager actually had to pay severance pay to these people they let go for stealing from them. When does it become theft? All right? See, when you're leading people and when you're trying to sell people, you know, you're in a close relationship, and everything that you do is going to be something that is going to be looked at very quickly. They're always judging your character, and it's just not the first time you meet somebody. It's over the long haul. You know what I mean? And I'll give you another example of something that I've had happen that was really positive. Now, this comes from a personal work experience of myself. I was involved, I got, and not too long ago, we're going back maybe 6-7 months here, I was invited to give a proposal on a major project. I mean, this is one of those ones that you get it. I mean, it could definitely be, and it definitely is, a life-changing thing. I mean, it paid really well. It's going to get you all the right attention from all the right people. I knew going in as I started doing the preparations that this was going to be tough to get, and that if I got it, I was going to have to be the best I'd ever been, right? So what happened is we got to a point where I invited these people out to lunch. We were doing a proposal, and it took me 3 or 4 hours to explain this. And when it got done, I said, you know, why don't you come on? I'm going to go have dinner, or not have dinner, but I'm going to go have lunch. Why don't you let me buy you lunch, and we can continue to talk about some different things. And if you have any more questions, it's the way to do it. And it's my way of saying thank you for letting me at least make the proposal. So 3 of the 4 managers that were involved in this presentation that I was making, this proposal at the company, they were the key decision makers, right? And one of them was the CEO. They decided to go to lunch with me, all right? So we went, we had lunch. They asked me, it was a business lunch. They asked me a lot of different questions, some things that hadn't come up before and whatever. And so we eat lunch, we have a great time, we had desserts and the like, and we're now leaving the restaurant. As I get halfway across the parking lot, I look at the bill, and it hits me that we had not paid for the desserts. Now, this was on me, and I had not paid the desserts, so I immediately spun on my heel. I went back inside. I paid not only for the desserts, but the additional tip, the 20%, 25% I typically tip somebody, on top of that, to that restaurant. All right? Never think anything about it. And the reason I didn't think anything about it is simply because that's me. I mean, I really never try to take anything from anybody that's not mine. It was the right thing to do. That server had served us well. That server had done a great job. That server had just forgotten a human error right down on the bill, the desserts. And that server, I thought, was probably going to have to pay for that. And I didn't think that was fair, so I did what my dad always taught me was right. I spun on my heel, went back in, and I paid for the desserts with an additional tip. Now, here's what happens. People are always looking. I'm telling you, people, here's what's happening. People are always looking at you. They're always judging you. They're always judging your character. So let me tell you what happened next. But before I do, I want to talk to you about this. If you're listening to this podcast, as you know, it's called Success in Professional Sales and Success in Life in General. A lot of people listening to this are already in the world of sales, and they're enjoying it. They just want to be the best they can be, and welcome aboard. I'm glad you're listening. But some of you out there may be in a position where you're thinking, maybe it's time for me to go represent another product. Maybe I'm not getting from the job I have right now what I need. Or maybe you're listening to this because you're considering getting into sales. Well, listen, I just put a book out here. This is one of them right here. It's called Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck. And if you're thinking about getting into a new sales career, or you're thinking about getting into sales in general, this might be somewhere for you to go. What this book is about is how to be a service advisor in the automotive industry. Now, what a service advisor is, it's the person that when you take your car in to get it serviced, they come out and write you up. These people are actually salespeople, and it's a very legitimate job. It gets a bad reputation every once in a while as being not legitimate, but I'm telling you, it's so heavily regulated, you can't rip people off in that job. So it's a real-time job. Now get this, a lot of people, 20% of the people doing that job make $100,000 a year or more, and many of them don't even have college education. As a matter of fact, the average person writing service today is making $65,000 a year, and at that number there, just $65,000, puts them in the top 15% of income earners in the United States of America. And depending on where you live, that kind of money gets you a 2,300 square foot house and 1.3 acres of land with a $40,000 vehicle in your driveway. If you're married and your spouse works outside the home, you can even add another 1,000 square foot to it and a second car of equal or greater value. You'll get 2 weeks paid vacation when you write service, and check this out. You'll get a benefit package at most of these places that rival some of the biggest industries out there. The question becomes, how do you do the job? Well, it's in my book, Write Service and Write Your Own Paycheck. And you know what? This book is now available at Amazon.com, both in hard copy, as you can see right here, or you can get it in e-form, or you can call us at thejeffcowan.com, 1-800-248-2931, 1-800-248-2931, or go to thejeffcowan.com and get the book there. Now check this out. I not only have a book to show how to do this, I put together a whole video online series for you to learn how to do this as well. And here's what's great about this online series. There's well over 10 hours worth of training there. You can go there, and I've taken these videos, and I've cut them down to about 5 minutes each. You'll watch them, you'll test on them. I can see your test scores. And as you pass the test and you pass the entire program, I will then certify you, and it will make you easy for you to go out into this market and get one of these 30,000 jobs. There's 30,000 openings right now for that job if you want to go do it. So just a new book. I'm my sponsor this week. Write Service, Write Your Own Paycheck. Go to thejeffcowan.com. Learn all about it there. But if you're in a job now that you love and you just want to be the best you can be, then keep listening to me. You don't have to buy that book if you don't want to. But if you want to do something different, there you go. There's a real opportunity. But back to the message. So we're establishing here, people always are judging you, your character and who you are and whatnot. And I just got through telling you a story about how I was in this major proposal, and as a thank you, I took the people I was proposing to out for lunch, and once we were walking across the parking lot, I was looking at the receipt, and I noticed we hadn't paid for the dessert, so I spun on my heel, went back inside, and I not only paid for the desserts that we ate, because I was picking up the old tab, not only paid for the desserts that we ate, but I also included more tip. Why? Because if I didn't do that, that server who busted their butt for me was going to have to pay for that. I didn't think it's fair, right? Now check this out, because here's what happened next. 2 full weeks before this proposal that I just made was to be decided, because they were interviewing a lot of people. This is a big project, right? So they told me at the end of that lunch, it's going to be 2 weeks before we make a decision. Yet the very next day, guess what happened? I got a phone call from the CEO of that company, and they awarded me the account. And I was surprised. I wasn't so much surprised I got the account, because I felt pretty good at it, but I was surprised they made the decision a full 2 weeks ahead of time. And I said, and I go, this is great news. And they said, well, it is great news. We're really looking forward to working with you. And we want to let you know why we decided to go ahead and make the decision now versus 2 weeks from now. Because yesterday you spoke so much about who you are and what you do and who your company is and how you operate when you simply spun around on your heel, went back in and paid the bill that you hadn't been charged for, paid for those desserts and the extra tip. That speaks so much volume about you. We knew you were the kind of person we wanted to do business with. You had the character and you had the belief system that we did. So they made the decision just like that. Now let me be real clear here. I'm not trying to make myself sound like a saint, because I'm not. I'm not trying to make myself sound perfect, because I'm not. I've made a lot of mistakes, and I continue to make a lot of mistakes in my life, you know, but one thing I never do, and I have my dad to thank for this, I never knowingly take anything from anybody that I did not pay for, that is not mine, because it's simply theft. Okay? So my message here today is know that people are always listening to you. So even though you get in these little conversations, and I just don't want to keep hitting on the Amazon and the Apple thing, you know, but this is a conversation that comes up all the time. How to get in there and rewire these Fire Sticks so you get all this stuff for free. You're not getting it for free, you're stealing it. And if you want to do it, I don't care. If you want to do that, if you want to go to a restaurant and you're not charged for something and walk out and you're okay with that, who am I to judge? I'm nobody to judge. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, please don't talk about it when you're around your customers. Please don't talk about it when you're around your employees, because the actions that you do and the actions that you take are what they're going to follow. You know, so many times I walk into so many businesses that we're working for, and they have these huge mission statements on the wall. And I talk to these salespeople, they have these huge mission statements about how you're going to do this and how you're going to do that and whatever. And employees look at that stuff and they love it. And they take it serious and they want to do that. But you know what? No matter what you write, it's never going to be as impactful as what you do. So be very, very careful when you're out and about telling stories about how you went someplace and they undercharged you and you thought it was funny. Be very careful about talking about things like that. Instead, you should tell stories. You know, I wouldn't even tell stories about it, you know what I mean? I mean, if you are, it's going to bring up, so, we went into that, we paid for it because we thought it was right to do. And not getting religious on you, but hey, if being honest and not stealing is good enough to make the list of the 10 Commandments, I think it should be in the 10 Commandments of selling. You're going to be in the profession of sales. You want everybody to want to do business with you. And you have to understand, again, repeat myself, they're going to watch you, they're going to watch how you talk, they're going to watch your actions. They're looking at your character. So be very, very careful. When is it theft? When is it theft? When is it theft? If you don't want people stealing from you, don't steal from other people. And again, I'm not judging you. You do whatever you want. I'm certainly far from perfect. Ask my wife. Matter of fact, ask my ex-wife. She'll tell you that I'm not perfect, all right? Well, hey, listen, I hope this helps. I hope I gave you something to think about here today, because I think this message is very, very powerful, because, again, I've seen some people here recently that I know make a very big mistake about bragging about this stuff. Man, what are you telling your kids, your employees, your coworkers, and the like? But I think you got the point. So this is The Jeff Cowan coming to you from thejeffcowan.com with this week's message on success in professional sales and life in general. This is one of those ones that's going to help you out in all areas of your life. So do me a favor, between now and next week, when I come back with my next message, it's going to be out of this world great. Go sell something and make it a great week, because that's what I'm going to do. Take care, everybody. See you next week.